Hello and welcome to Antimatter Garage. Originally I wasn't even going to film an intro to this, I was just going to go straight into it, but I forgot something important. When you place the camera on the windshield, make sure that you put it within the wiping zone of your windshield wipers. Otherwise, when it's raining, if it's outside that zone, the droplets will just give you a really bad image. On the back window on this car, unfortunately I really couldn't do that, and I'll show you why. So here's the back windshield, and you can see the wiper comes to here. There's a line. You may not be able to see it on the camera, but I can see it here and around this way. So to put it in this zone, I would literally have to put the camera sort of in the back window. Maybe here would be okay as long as you didn't see the wiper when you look in your view. I chose mine to go down here as close as I could so there wouldn't be a wire, there wouldn't be a lot of wire sticking out. And unfortunately then what I wind up doing is, because the wiper didn't reach there, I wind up coming by and just sort of wiping it with my hand every now and then or something, just to try and keep it clear at all times. Anyway, just something you need to consider. I apologize, the neighbor kids are mowing the lawn, so seems like every time I pick up a camera somebody's got to mow a lawn, but I think you can hear me okay. This is my 2020 Hyundai Veloster N, and I'm putting a camera in it, backup camera in it, and I'm trying to show you how to do it without having to take out too many panels. I really just didn't want to mess with this at all. This is supposed to be the dependable transportation. I didn't want to like break a panel or something, so I think I found a way to do it really minimally invasive. And here's how you do it. So on this panel, so to get to the back, I'll show you the front earlier. It's a little later. It's a little bit easier. I need to put the camera in the window, right? But the window moves. So you don't have to take off this whole panel. You can just stick a one of these plastic tools in here at the top, and you can pry. And about 3 inches from the gap between this panel and that panel, you can see that's where there is one of those clips, and you pull it apparently downward, right? So you don't have to do this. I don't even think you have to do this at all, to be honest. I was just experimenting to see if this could come off easier. You can pull it if you want, but at your own risk. I can tell you though that, if you look through here, barely down inside here, maybe I'll put an arrow on the video, if you can even see this. I can't see it on the screen, but down in there you can see that there's another one of those white clips, and it goes that way, not that way. So if you're going to do it, that's where one of them is. But what I found is, instead, what I can do is, if you come up in here, there's a gap in the metal. See that? And that's where my cord goes. Now, you fish that down, and I find that it's good if the cable has a bit of a natural curl toward the right, because otherwise I think it gets caught up sort of in this area here. Maybe it goes down there and it gets caught. What I did is, beforehand I measured out that distance plus a little bit, and I put a piece of tape on the wire. That way when I was pushing it through, I knew roughly when I should be at the end, because I don't want to go too far and get hung up sort of down in here. I played with it a little while, and suddenly I could see this end just start to poke out there, and I was able to grab it and pull it. Now, because I went from top to bottom, I did try pushing it up, but I didn't get lucky there. And I need, the shortest piece needs to be here. That means I need to pull all that through, which I don't think is going to be a problem. If it is, then what I could do is attach something to this and use the wire as a fish tape to pull it through, and then reattach the wire to the other end of that and pull it through, and that might work, right? But when you get there, then I think I'm going to try and go through there, and I will tell you how hard that is. But I think it's looking like there's plenty of room. I can feel plenty of room in there, and I can see that the hole is large enough for an extra cable to go through, and then it'll go in the inside, and I'll show you that in a bit. Before you start, you can use this pretty good pictogram here to assemble a system. The only difference is, instead of putting it into the lighter port, I have one of those OBD2 ones, because I like mine to have a hardwire kit so that it can use the parking mode, and I don't have to worry about it turning it on every time. That's one of the things I find really annoying, is when it's hooked up like this, I think you have to turn the camera on. You start the car, you got to turn the camera on. There might be a setting, I don't know, but I found that really annoying. But if it's plugged into it hardwire, you don't have to do that. So I didn't actually start at the back, I just started filming at the back. So I already showed you how to string this through. Now let me show you, hopefully the camera view will come out okay, because I will be sort of upside down and everything, but I'll show you where I put mine. With this panel still popped out a little bit, I'm going to turn around and show you. There it is. This window is super dark tinted, so it's really hard to see out the back. But I believe that I have angled it in the right direction. There's not that much to move because the way this glass is shaped, it doesn't stand off enough. And I think I'm hitting the glass with this when I try to rotate up more. So hopefully this is good enough. But you can see how I just pinched the wire in there, and I tried to make sure there was no stress on this, because it gets very hot in Florida, and this double-sided tape that holds this to the glass, I think, will start to move. It'll start to turn. It's doing that in my wife's car, I think. And then, of course, I just kept it behind the plastic piece all the way down until it came here. Now I'm going to try and run it down through there, and I'll show you what that's like. Alright, so to remove this panel here, you have to pull these clips. Now, I'm not trying to remove the entire thing, I just need to be able to get access to on the other side of this so I can see what's going on, right? Well, it's held in by this panel, and you can see down in there, I have broken that. These clips were ridiculously hard. I don't know, something about, so Hyundai just likes really tight clips. These panels are very tight, I'll give them that, that's great. But then you can't get it out without breaking things, and it's very annoying because it didn't break the clip, it broke the panel. So now that's never going to go back again. So this is exactly what I was trying to avoid by doing this. So all I can tell you is don't pull on that, because, you know, unfortunately that is the way it comes out. It comes this way, so I don't know how you do it without breaking it. You know, good luck. The only thing I can think of is you can try and pull. See how I'm folding this here. You could try and pull down like that just to get to it without removing this panel. But yeah, it's very annoying. But you need access. I can feel it. You can see my finger poking through right there. So the headliner is the only thing that's on the other side of this. So now I'm going to just run that through to the headliner and do what I can. Alright, for this part, if you try and push the wire through there, it seems to get caught on like every little rib on the inside. So what I recommend, because you don't want to damage the cable by bending it too much, otherwise all this is for nothing. What I recommend is taping it to a screwdriver and then just pushing that through there. I'm going to put the camera down and do that. There you go. So once I got it through here, I brought it out through there, the entire cable, and that way I could run it down this way and along this. You can see it's still sticking out there, and now I'm going to try and continue that all along to the front. Okay, so I just pressed it up under here, and you can see I did that back there, and it kind of wanted to fall out, so I had to kind of really shove it sort of under the headliner, but I don't know, it feels like it's a little bit damaging the headliner, to be honest. You can hear it crunching a little bit. I brought it through here. I was able just to poke up like that. I used the tool, and then I used it to go along here, but you can see there's a little gap here now. In fact, there's the wire. I tried to push it in. It'd be best if it was above the headliner. It could come out. Also, just it's sticking out like that. I mean, it's even, so it's not real noticeable or anything, so I'm going to leave it. Like in my other cars, I actually removed all the panels and then secured the wire and then put the panels back on. In this case, I just wanted a quick and easy install, so now I'm here. I'm going to come across here and then up here, and that's exactly how I ran this wire, which is the power. I came up again underneath the rubber stripping, and then inside of here, or did I? Yeah. Interesting. It kind of looks like it sticks out there, but in fact, it's inside this panel. and I came up and then through the panel, and then I shoved it just barely in underneath the headliner there. In fact, if you get close, you can actually see I had to go around the mirror because the mirror base goes inside. In fact, there are two holes right here and one on the other side that I believe are almost for that purpose, or maybe some factory option, and you can see I came out there. So this time I'm going to just come across here and do the exact same thing, go in and out, so it'll be double wired right there, and then come out and go right into the camera there. Okay, and I do that by putting the tool right in here. It's hard to do this one-handed. I'll see if I can do it. So I can pull the panel out like that, right? Then I get my fingers in there and pull it out. It'll pop out. There's some tabs that'll in, and you only need to pull it out at the top. The rest can all stay in. There you go, just like that. Now you can actually see the other wire right here. And I try and keep this wire high because if you look inside there, that's white thing, that's an airbag. And you don't want the wires to interfere with the functioning of that airbag. So again, I'm going to need to use two hands. So I kept it at the top where I don't believe this is going to restrain anything. I mean, it's an explosion, it's going to knock that out of the way. It's just barely on the end here anyway. Okay, at this point I still had way too much left, all of this. So what I did was I actually came down, so now it's doubled up here, all the way down to there. So if I have to, I can put the excess wire underneath the dashboard, but to know how much, I'm going to run it to the camera and start working my way this way. And if I can, I'll even tuck it up under the headliner, but we'll have to see how that goes. I'll let you know. Okay, so I'm getting there. I was able to shove a bunch up underneath the headliner here, and yeah, everything's okay there. I think I'm going to be able to get the rest in. If not, maybe a little bit can go down in here, but the extra is definitely working. If I pull the headliner away and listen to this, and you can't hear it cracking, but you can kind of hear it cracking before. So it's not in my opinion the best way to be. It'd be better if you could pull all these panels off. I mean, and at least lower the headliner, but just not willing to start taking this car completely apart and snapping, you know, more clips and stuff. All right, so it's all tucked up underneath there now, and let's take a look from the outside. Yeah, I mean, it's all just black up there. You can't see anything, so that's good. I don't think the wire's visible. I was able to push it up into the headliner. I can feel kind of like a little gap there relative to before. So you can improve that, I think, by taking your tool and just grabbing that cable and pushing it further up like this, and keeping it tucked out of the way up underneath there. I recommend that as you're pushing the cable up, if you can feel it going up, just keep pushing no matter where you are until it kind of resists, and then keep working your way around. If you get to another spot where it'll take more, just push as much up there as you can to keep it there. And then in the end, you'll end up with something like that. And now the question is, does it work? Well, let's plug it in and see. Not 100% done because I still have to secure this underneath. You can do this by, sorry. So not completely done because I have to secure this last bit up underneath the dashboard. At least there's a place to put that. And you can actually put this in by feel. You can feel it's smaller here. So if you reach under the dashboard, it's right there, just below this little guy. And you can feel that the up is the small, so it goes like that. And if you, there we go. Now it should come on. Or I could turn it on. Or not. Oh, there it goes. Okay. I don't see the rear view camera. Please format the card. Okay. There it is. There's the rear view camera in the corner there, and the front view camera there. It's blue because I still have the, there's a little film on it. But you can see that's working just fine. So that's how you do it. So I live in Florida, and if you don't want your dashboard to crack and the interior to get so hot, like sometimes the steering wheel can get so ridiculously hot you can't even touch it. I know that's like that up north with the cold, right? Your steering wheels can get so cold. That's why you have steering wheel heaters. Down here it's the heat, and so we put these sunshades up to help prevent that. And because the cameras are so big and they stick down so much, and they even put the GPS unit in there, in the suction cup, right? So you kind of can't just get rid of the suction cup and bolt it some other way. I mean, I kind of did, and I tore it apart in my other cars. But in this one, I just wanted to get it done, and I didn't want to have to, you know, I thought it may not be permanent. Although I'm not taking those wires out, that's for sure. But the point is that it gets in the way of the sunshade. So this is usually kind of how I do the sunshade when it's there. I'm just careful not to push too hard and move the camera around. Yeah, it's just one of those things. I really wish they would make more discreet cameras, because I don't really want people seeing that I have a camera in the car. They might break in to steal the camera, and then what good is that, right? So if it was more covert, that would be really nice. Maybe put a box in the glove compartment or something like that, you know, and then wire it up to a tiny camera. But this is the state of the art right now. Not much you can do about it. There are some, but for other reasons, they don't work for me. I want the screen, for instance, on the back so that I can see if I'm aligned or not. I don't want to have to hook in with my phone. I heard it doesn't work with some phones. Things like that can happen. So I just wanted a standalone unit. Anyway, this Vantrue is the same one I have in my wife's car. I don't have the OBD2 hardwire kit. I have one that hardwires into the fuse box, but it's been a good one. I have a Red Tiger in my Spider because I had to use a different brand, because I needed one. It's a convertible, and I needed one that had a rear view camera that mounted in the on the outside of the vehicle, and therefore it needed to be waterproof. And Vantrue didn't have that, so I went with the Red Tiger, and I don't like it as much. I was autocrossing, and I was taking video of the autocross, and I noticed that a whole bunch of the files were just missing. And how do you know if that's happening on the road? Then how do you know the important file where you had an accident isn't going to be missing? So I need to look into that more. But this Vantrue seems to be pretty good. It was fairly reasonably priced. It was $250 minus $100 for a sale they were having, so it was $150. And then the installation kit, or the hardware kit, I think was $18. So it's kind of all in. It was just called $200, and it came here very quickly. And there it is, fully installed. I thought you guys might like to see the actual car. Oh, I got to take the blue off. I forgot. I didn't even zip tie those cables up underneath there. There were some wire ties that came with the kit, you know, they were just wrapping up wires. And I thought, might as well just use those instead. Doesn't make any difference if they break. I'll just zip tie them later. But yeah, it's a nice car, and hope I keep it safe. Thanks for watching.